Doug Miles, Don Henderson here at Ed Smith Stadium once again, and today the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Toronto Blue Jays in a afternoon game. And Don, you and I have had a chance to see a few teams so far. We haven't had a chance to see Toronto in the last couple of years, and that's another team that's kind of in a similar situation as Baltimore in a rebuilding mode, it looks like.
Well, it's interesting because Toronto a little bit under 500, and the Orioles right at 500 at 6-6. Some very positives. We talk about Manny Machado every time we do a show, pregame show, and of course he's hitting over 500 in spring training. But the problem for both teams, I think, has been pitching. The Orioles have just not been able to put together consistent pitching, and that's why they're 6-6.
And the Orioles did have a win yesterday down in Port Charlotte against the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Blue Jays come off a split split squad win and loss yesterday. And I guess the story for Toronto Blue Jays fans down here is Jose Bautista is an unsigned free agent. They did not bring him back to Toronto this year. He's the guy that hit all those great home runs for them. But in the era of baseball we're in right now, a lot of free agents unsigned, and he's one of them.
Well, there's no question about it. You look at the roster right now, and a lot of names. We've got the batting order for today's first game. In fact, they're playing back-to-back games. They're going to play here at Ed Smith Stadium today, and they're going to run right over to Dunedin tomorrow. So they'll play back-to-back. First time they've played in spring training. And it's going to be very, very interesting because there are a lot of no names on the Toronto Blue Jays at the moment. So we'll see how they come along and whether or not they get into that free agent market, which everybody is resisting 100% as of the moment.
I know the Players Association filed a grievance, didn't they? With
6 clubs.
Saying they did not use some of that money that's supposed to go to all the teams,
and one of those
luxury tax money, to spend it on free agents.
Yeah, and one of those teams was our own Rays right down there in Tampa Bay, and of course they're trying to get their payroll really down from last year, as are most of the teams. But holy smokes, the ceiling is pretty high, but the teams that are not going to be competitive are trying to stay very low.
We're looking at the attendance figures, talking about regular season, but spring training attendance, the Rays only drew about 3,000 yesterday for the game against Baltimore.
Yeah,
it's about half filled.
Whereas here, Baltimore's been very, very fortunate. Ed Smith Stadium, they've only played 1 year where it was the original stadium. The other 7 has been the remodel stadium. And right now, going into today's game, there are a little bit over 885,000 people that have turned out. So they are really in the top echelon of people, and they've also, as a ballpark, the city of Sarasota, Ed Smith Stadium has been named by the researchers as one of the finest spring training sites in all of Florida.
Yeah, great honor for them to get that. And yes. Again, we talk about Machado. You mentioned having an outstanding spring, but ESPN put out a report, their power report, that they rank all the teams as far as the power in the lineup. And Baltimore fans are not going to be too happy to hear the Orioles around 28-29 out of all the clubs in their power lineup. So Buck Showalter probably not too thrilled with that.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see as the season goes along. They've got some power hitters. I mean, Davis right now is out because of that elbow thing, but it's only a couple of days. He should be back by, well, probably the end of the weekend, maybe the Sunday night game against the Phillies here. He'll be back, I think, for that one. But as of right now, I mean, they've got plenty of power in the lineup, but they're not doing much power hitting.
We'll look forward. You mentioned the Phillies. We'll see them this Sunday night. Your former team, Don. You worked for them for many years on their broadcast, so we'll get a chance to see them. And then Saturday they take on Pittsburgh here, which is just down the road in Bradenton, but they'll be playing right here at Ed Smith. So a busy weekend for the Orioles coming up.
Yeah, it's great to see. And again, we got a little bit of a chilly day today, and the rest of the weekend is going to be interesting because they got the great golf tournament going on down in Tampa. Tiger Woods is down there. A lot of expectations there golf-wise. The weather for Saturday is not supposed to be real good. Sunday night is the second night game here at Ed Smith Stadium. It's going to start at 6:05, and so it'll be very interesting to see with all the competition on Sunday, the NCAA draw, the golf tournament down the road, the normal baseball schedule, and being a Sunday night. It'll be really interesting, I think, to see how the attendance turns out at 6 o'clock on a Sunday night.
A lot going on here in the Tampa Bay, Sarasota area. We'll keep our eye on what's going on this weekend, and we'll see you later on. But thanks for watching.